You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, today's podcast episode, I wanted to just take a couple quick minutes here and frankly throw it back to over the weekend and just really congratulate all of you guys and say happy Father's Day out there to so many of you. I know there's a bunch of different things we can always talk about with lawn care and landscaping and best practices and how to mow and who's making the best mowers out there. And of course, that conversation is super fun. We're constantly talking about that stuff on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast and the Brian's Alt Maintenance YouTube channel. But you know, once in a while, I just like to hit pause, maybe reflect for a few minutes, and just talk about things that are actually important, things that, you know, in my perspective, things that are legacy topics, things that are of legacy value, things that are infinitely more important to keep the main thing, if you guys know what I'm saying. And to me, that is things like faith, family, freedom, you know, those kind of different topics. And whether it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, whether it's Father's Day, Mother's Day, whether it's 4th of July and, you know, financial independence and freedom that, you know, this country gives you the opportunity to do in the pursuit of happiness, the pursuits, right, for that economic growth. Like, these topics are very, very important, you know, and I love talking about them. I love reminiscing about them. They say the three topics that you should never talk about are money, sex, and politics, or maybe it was God, religion, and politics, or something like that. And frankly, if you're not talking about those three, then what's the point of having a conversation, right? Sometimes I feel like Jaden Smith here. If we're not talking about the macroeconomic global economy and the situation of global finance, then what are we even doing here, bro? Just kidding if you guys saw that reel couple years ago floating around on social media. But a lot of words just to say, I just want to say, let's just hit pause really quick here. I just want to say to all of you guys that are fathers out there, happy Father's Day. There is a crazy amount of expectation on dudes. There's a crazy amount of expectations on fathers and dads. But just because you're a father doesn't mean you're a great dad, by the way. We've some of you guys have heard that. Some of you guys know that. I will tell you what, there is nothing that is probably been, or anything that has ever been a more challenging and humbling and make me kind of grow up experience than just a couple key things in my life. One, you know, becoming a Christian, accepting Jesus into my life and my heart. Number two, getting engaged and, you know, married to my beautiful bride, Liz, which so many of you guys have met Liz along the way, and just an amazing gal. And then I'm sure there's a couple other ones, like hiring your first employee, and you no longer go from just out there in the wild, you know, swinging your sword. Like, you're leading people. People are counting on you, especially if they're full-time and their full-time income comes from you and your company. Like, you better have your stuff together. But then another one along the way was becoming a father. And that's something that I don't know if you're ever ready for that. I will tell you, I don't think it hit me so much on the day my daughter, Emmy, who's almost 3 in August, was born. I don't think it was the day my son, Crew, was born. And that dude is the happiest little party animal you've ever seen. Liz and I were just talking the other day. We were at a restaurant, and he was sitting back like just like a thug, man, just hanging out like G style, lean back, not a care in the world, feet up on his little high chair, right? And Liz and I just look at each other like, who is this little dude? He's just a happy little joker. And Liz goes, he is definitely just passing through here, man. He does not have a care in the world. He's the happiest little baby you've ever seen. But he is here for a good time, not a long time, if you know what I'm saying. Hopefully he's got a blessed 100 years here, you know what I'm saying. But the dude is just kind of passing through. I hope and feel like he's going to be the 6'5", blonde hair, blue eyes, finance bro. But he seems to be the happiest little camper in the world, right? I don't feel like I became a father those moments, right? Or a dad those moments. I feel like, for me personally, it was the very first time Liz told us that we were pregnant. And really even the second time, because we actually had a miscarriage, unfortunately, with our first baby. But, you know, same feeling, you know, no doubt about it. But when Liz told me that she was pregnant and that we were, quote unquote, expecting, right? We went from dual income, no kid, couple, dinks, right, they call it. And, we had spent quite a bit of time just trying to get our money right, grow our companies, grow our influence, just network, make friends, try to figure out what we wanted to actually do in life. I mean, the priorities are just crazy when you don't have kids. And then all of a sudden, Liz tells me, hey, we're pregnant. And I will tell you, I don't think I've ever been so excited, scared, nervous, afraid, pumped up, fired up, everything in between and every emotion in the world, right, all came together at once. And for some of you guys who have been there, done that, you get it. Excuse me. Some of you guys that have, you're just found out that your girl's pregnant or your wife's pregnant or girlfriend's pregnant. Congratulations. That's awesome. If you guys have not been down that route, I hope that you take the opportunity and, have that opportunity available to you one day and you pursue it. I think it's one of the coolest and most noble and excited and best things you can do for you, your family, the country, your faith, and so many more topics and reasons why. But I will tell you, everything changed that day. And yes, even more so when that baby came into the world, but it's almost like things that were important sort of no longer became important. And things that I had never thought about or things that I had on my top 200th list, they were number 198, 199, 200, all of a sudden became priority number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? No longer was it YouTube or making money or this or that. It was, I got to keep this baby safe. I got to provide and take care of my wife. I want them to have a home. I want them to have a safety net while I'm here, a safety net while I'm not here, right? All these different things. It seemed like almost everything changed when Liz told me that she was pregnant. And for me, it honestly spun my life into overdrive back in like 2019, 2020, whatever it was. I was like, no matter what, I feel like I have to double and triple my income. Well, no matter what, I need to double and triple our space for my wife as she decides to nest. No matter what, I need to double and triple the life insurance, if you guys know what I'm saying. I'm like, I promised this woman the world. And, we started having some different obligations financially, new trucks and the Tesla, and wanted to build our home one day. I'm like, if I get hit by a bus, I don't want them to have a lifestyle, go backwards or backslide, right? So upped a couple different things there. And I think those are the responsible things to do. But, nothing changed my life more than the day my wife told me that we were expecting. And I guess even, throw it all together, the day my little peanut, Emmy, came into the world. And, we did a home birth at a birthing center, I should say, very, very simple. And then baby was on mommy's chest in 10 seconds. And I was snuggling with baby within the first half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever it was, doing some chest to chest. And it was absolutely beautiful. It was the most, like I said, top 2, top 3, top 4 moments of my life is finding out they were pregnant and then having kids and having babies. And folks, I'm in love with it. I mean, people that want to start drama online or fight with you, or people that leave negative comments or nitpick or say, you're a loser, or what does he know? What size company is his? Or, you only have 4 or 5 guys working for you, or 7, like we kind of do, but anyway, or does it matter? If running a $500,000, $2 million or $5 million business, it's like, you're never good enough. It doesn't matter how big your house is, what cars you drive. And so you got to stop chasing all that extra, outwardly stuff and just know, hey man, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're doing better than you did a day, a week, a month, a year ago, then that's the pursuit. That's real happiness and that's real joy, right? And that's what it feels like when you start focusing on your family and you have kids. And I just relate this story back to so many of you guys that I would imagine are in parallel paths as myself. Granted, some of you guys actually were texting me. A lot of you guys have my number. I try to get back to everyone, of course, but I had some of you guys texting me and you guys said, hey, congrats on your 3rd Father's Day. I'm having my 20th here today. It's so crazy how fast it all goes. That's crazy. That's awesome. Some of you guys have been, you got 2, 3, 4-year-olds just like myself, and we're all in that same little pod, of people growing up together. Jeremiah and Savannah, for example, they got little kiddos. The Almonds are a couple years ahead of us. They got a 5th, 6th, 7th grader with Addison there. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to see how fast all this stuff happens and how fast all these little babies grow up, right? And it just got me thinking, so much of what we all do, I will just tell you guys, man to man, I know the wives appreciate it. but I don't think they totally understand or totally know what it takes. And I don't think they're supposed to in some regards, and I don't think that, there's some male bravado and, we're better or anything like that. Because quite frankly, we're pretty simple creatures, right? I've seen what my wife does to take care of the kids when I'm not home, from birth, number one, to feedings, to getting up at 3:00 in the morning. And of course, I try there to help. And by the way, guys, a little quick tip: if you're a new father, if she gets up, you get up. She says, no, go get some sleep. Trust me, get up. If not, you're going to pay for it forever. Little inside tip there.
Exmark mowers were born to deliver legendary reliability, signature cut quality, and stubborn durability that refuses to give in. Because, like you, Exmark mowers were built for this. And there's never been a better time to save big on Exmark mowers. So hurry into your local dealer.
From me to you guys that are out there, I know what it takes because I'm going through the ringer with all of you guys. And I don't just mean growing a company. I don't just mean hiring good people. I don't just mean trying to be a good example and a good leader and somebody in your community and somebody who does the right thing and pays it forward and thinks of others first and provides a good family and tries to be their father, a fatherly influence in your kids, and be home for dinner and be home for playtime and be there on Saturdays for soccer, even though you got landscaping or mulch jobs, you get rained out. Dude, it's tough. It's tough out there, man. It really, really, really is. I was asking Liz, I said, hey, I'm going to do a Father's Day podcast. Normally I leave it up to Mr. Washington over there, Caleb Allman. He normally does Memorial Day and 4th of July and, all these different big dates. And he's way better at that than I am anyway. But I told Liz, I said, Father's Day is incredible. It's one of the funnest days that I quote unquote kind of look forward to. And I asked Liz, I said, hey, I want to talk about Father's Day. And I said, I just want to give some guys out there some encouragement. Dude, I know it's a lot. I know what the world's expecting out of you. I know men's mental health is a big topic. I don't really want to go down that whole route right now, but if you guys are struggling with anything, please get help. It is a big deal, but that's only because the weight of the world is on your shoulders to get all this done. And then you start playing the compare game on social. It starts to get kind of wild out there if you let it, right? So I just will tell you guys, if you're doing this and you're doing it all, I'm with you. I'm proud of you. You do have what it takes. You can make it work. You can figure it out. You will figure it out. Just give it some time, give it some effort, give it some energy. Don't quit. Okay? But I will just say, it is one of the best things that you guys can do is to continue to win and lead for your family. And, it goes back to those old quotes, good times create weak men create hard times create strong men create good times. And I will just tell you guys, I don't know if you can totally worry about the economic state or the state of the country, specifically with any one thing that we all do. But what I can say is you guys can lead in your home and you guys can lead in your family. And I would love for us all to fix the greater problems of the country. I feel like sometimes it's just, we're charging up the hill, and I don't know if it's a winning battle sometimes, especially with where this country's gone the last 5, 10, 20 years. And I mean that sincerely. But what you guys can do is continue to win for your family and being a good example there, and make sure that your family is living conservatively financially, and maybe making sure that your family has a nest egg. And if you didn't come from a wealthy family comes from you, kind of stuff, right? And it doesn't mean you need to be hog nasty rich and make millions and millions, but that they're at least set up financially and they understand good work ethic and they understand clear thinking. They're not confused about business or entrepreneurship or capitalism, right? They're not confused about whether or not they're boy or girl, for crying out loud. I mean, I just don't understand how we've gotten so far off the beaten path. And truthfully, if we really did distill it down, yes, it's a destroying of the family. Yes, it's a destroying of the ladies and our counterparts. But really, it's twofold. One is a destroying of the man and the father in the household. But number two, just men and fathers just not leading and not stepping up and mailing it in. And there's a whole reason for all of that, of course, right? Many, many different facets. And a lot of it stems from our fathers and our dads that didn't provide or teach us the right ways or the best ways. And I always look at folks out there that had great fathers and great dads. And so many of you guys out there do. And I've actually got around so many. I'm thinking like Brian Barenga's dad, Jeremiah Jennings' dad, Logan Manning's dad, Earth Advocate Ohio. I got to meet so many of your guys' fathers on these shop tours or these different teenager tours or visits. I've got to meet so many great folks. Nick Carlson's dad, Sam, so many of you guys know. Not Sam. Oh my gosh, what is his name? Is it Sam? No, Sam's one of their other guys. Oh my gosh, I forget Nick Carlson's dad's name, for the crying out loud. It'll come back to me. But all these different guys, right? Like, I've got to meet men's men, and then you see their kids or their sons, right? Like most of you guys that are out there, my peers, and it's just like, man, I wish I had that myself. Unfortunately, my dad just passed away when I was too young to really have any grand impact on my life, right? And so it's kind of like a bittersweet day for me, because one side of me is like, Liz, like, you're a great dad, you're a great father. Like, you should go do a podcast on Father's Day. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I'm going to give him the sauce, right? And I said, like, Liz, how, before I hit record, I said, how do you know that I'm a good father? And she's like, well, you show up and you like deliver and you're winning and you're like taking care of your family and you're like, you're butt kicking and you're always there and you're present with your family and you're always trying to make soccer friendly and you read to the kids. And I know you're going 100 miles an hour and you're doing all these different things. And I'm like, man, I appreciate that. Like, I said, I can't really do a Father's Day podcast on myself and say I'm a good example or, I got it all figured out, because I don't. Actually, ironically enough, we did try to have Liz do a podcast episode, and she got about 4.5 minutes into it and said, there's no way I'm doing a solo show. I don't know how you do this. I am not talking to the air for 30 minutes. I said, fair enough. So I'm like, well, I can't go in there and tell everybody how awesome I am. I said, that's not how podcasting or anything works. There's people that do that, and I can't stand it. But I'm like, I don't do that. I don't even know if I'm that good. She's like, you're awesome. And I'm like, you think so? She goes, I know so. And I was like, thanks. I said, I got a lot of ways to go. She goes, you're a great dad. And I'm like, if you think so, then that's all that matters, right? But I'll just tell you guys, excuse me, from one friend to another, one father, to another, one dad to another, I just got to tell you guys, I know what it takes out there in the marketplace. I know how hard it is to get all these things done. I know how hard it is to be a good example, win, be there at soccer, still, show time to the wife, get a date night in, be able to financially afford a couple different things for everybody along the way. And usually we're the last ones to ever want anything, or the last ones to ever need anything, right? At best, we want a nice truck, right? But really, other than some good food, some nice clean draws, you know what I'm saying? Making sure your favorite shirt is cleaned. So on Saturday you can go out and mow your own lawn, or Sundays you can mow your own lawn. Like, I think most of us are pretty simple creatures, right? I will just say, if you guys are anti-kids or not a big kid person, there's a huge movement out there with dinks and the selfishness and it's not even like a thoughtful choice or a thoughtful decision. It's just a cultural trend where people are not having kids or choosing not to. And I think to myself, what a selfish human being. Well, I can't afford it. Well, I can't do this or I can't do that. Okay, there might be legitimate reasons, but most likely they're all, my financial income has grown significantly before, during, and after I had kids. Because I thought I was doing good until I had kids, and I realized I needed to really honestly buck up. And that's what's made me want to think bigger and do better and do more. Right? And for any of you guys that have like totally sworn off kids, or you guys are like, no, I don't want to do that. I will tell you, you will live with regret, and eventually you will decide at a time when you no longer most likely can have them, that you're going to wish that you did. And I only say that just because one of my family members, she's going through this right now. And you just see the heartache in her eyes. She loves playing with our kids because they're, I don't know if they'd be like grand nieces or nephews or whatever you call it. And they chose the dink lifestyle. And I'm not saying it's for everybody to have kids, but at the same point, I just think there's so much out there to a depth of life that you miss without having kids. And that includes being a mom, and that includes being a dad. And the best thing that I heard somebody say once, I think it was maybe even Ben Shapiro, hate him or love him, but he said, like, your spectrum when it's just you or you and your spouse is a -5 and a +5. And that's what you know from love to hate to anger to acceptance to tolerance to grace. You guys know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But when you have kids, it goes to 7 plus or minus up and down, right? Or 10 plus or minus up and down. Because now that you have these kids, you see the world through their lens and through their eyes. And then you also get to see the lens through their eyes of when you were a kid to your parents and all the stuff you did right and all the stuff you did wrong. And it's such a fun experience. It's just a fun process. I don't know any other way to say it. And, for Liz and I, we want to have a big family. We want to have 4 kids, big enough family, if you will. And for me, that means that I have to own it. I have to be a good example. I have to make sure that I'm doing what it takes to give these little kiddos that Liz and I chose to bring into the world a good life, a quality life, a safe life, a life of blessed living. And I don't mean rich living. I just mean we're taking care of them and they feel loved. And that's the most important thing that we can do is just make sure they're loved, make sure they have a great, safe environment. And 2 or 3, just give them the encouragement to do whatever they want to do in life. But of course, I will challenge them to do the best at whatever it is that you decide to do, to be the best at it, right? That's what I will challenge them with. But at the end of the day, folks, some of you guys are out there thinking, well, I don't want kids. This world's messed up. Why would I bring my kids into this world? It's all messed up. What helped me to have kids, what helped Liz and I really understand this and decide was that's exactly why we need to have kids. Because the world is so freaking messed up. And I don't want to say the other side, is taking ground or they're having kids despite of or in spite of. I will just tell you that's something that Liz and I want to do is create and have and raise little warriors in what we believe in, right? Because if the other side's already still doing it and you choose not to, then give it a couple generations and that side's going to prevail. And I'm not saying that's exclusively why you have kids, of course. But I will just say, for Liz and I personally, that was one of the reasons that we just said, man, this world's so messed up. So many people aren't going to have kids. No, the world's so messed up. That's why we're going to have kids. Now, we did wait. We waited a little bit longer than we would have liked to. We came from very busted backgrounds and very financially strapped backgrounds, so we didn't want to be broke when we had kids. And if you were, who cares? Life goes on. Nobody cares if your kids are in designer stuff, good quality stuff, or stuff from Meijer, Walmart. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, really, nobody cares, right? It's just whether or not you show up for that kid and you're there and you love them and you give them a loving home. But for Liz and I, we came from so far back, we wanted to make sure that no matter what, we had money in the bank to be able to give these kids a good start, right? A good start. All right. So I will just tell you guys, not to keep it too heavy today, because I'm sure it's 95 degrees where you guys are as well. And the same thing for us all week. It's like 97 real temperatures, 97 degrees all week. Kind of a very errant, weather pattern up here in Michigan. But so that being said, you guys are like, man, Fullerton's getting heavy. I'm talking about, having kids and happy Father's Day. Dude, you bet I am. Because it's one of the most important things you can do as a man is to be a dad, to be a father, and to lead. And I really charge so many of you guys with that responsibility. If you've fallen or you've failed, who cares? Get back up. Life goes on. Dust it off. Easier for me to say than for you to do. I get it. I hope to just encourage you guys. Like, dude, it's tough. It always is tough. It's going to be tough no matter what. Some of you guys have had some real issues, some real challenges that you've had to go through that I can't relate with. I'm sorry. Life's not fair, right? I've had my own crap. You've had your crap. But it doesn't give us a reason not to lead. It doesn't give us a reason not to love. It doesn't give us a reason not to forgive. And it doesn't give us a reason to not reconnect, initiate, and try. Okay, so that's just my encouraging word for you guys today. All right, like this day can bring up a lot of emotions. I know it does for Liz. Her family, father relationship right now is not existent. My dad passed away when I was 15, 16 years old. I don't know if that gives us room to talk about it, but that's kind of the gamut so far. We don't have great examples. We don't have great dads. We don't have great grandpas, right, in our lives here, or great grandpas. One of the things that hit me the most was at Launchpreneur Academy Live a couple of years ago. We had Troy Klog speak, and he was showing slides. And some of you guys that have been there, Troy's presentation was all about the why. And what do his grandkids call Papa Troy? They call him Chief. 9-hour conference goes on, and the one thing I take away is the last 10 minutes from Troy Klog's speech Like, why do you do what you do? And there's only a few things that still keep me moving that really dig deep. If you think it's about a Lambo, you're dumb. If you think it's about my house, you're really dumb. If you think it's about making money and fortune and fame on YouTube, you're dumb. There's some people right now that literally are just at my teeth right now on social, thinking that I'm all about the money. I'm like, you're so dumb. It's about impact. It's about legacy. It's about being an example for my kids. It's about when my kids' see me and they say, how's it going, Chief? Right? I want to be the dad. I want to be the guy that stuck a line in the sand and said, my family will be taken care of. I'm not saying rich. I'm just saying taken care of from here forward. And we don't have to worry about money or rent or whether the lights will be on or whether we can have quality food or good food or let alone any food. Like, I grew up that way. Liz grew up that way. We were not going to let that be the case for us. And we still have a lot of work to do to secure the bag. Right? And Liz and I still have a lot of growing up to do to make sure that we're solid for our kids, as a great example of being a quality mom and dad and a working together couple, and a couple that's in love, right? Like, that's what I want to do. And when Troy Klogg said to his grandkids, they call him Chief. And Chief is just, the sage of the tribe, right? And he just created a legacy, created a different culture and a different way of life. We're Klogg, and this is the way we do things. Like, to me, that means something. And that comes through leadership. That comes through an example. That comes through being a father. That comes through being a dad. And that's earned. And to me, that's just the biggest thing you can do here with a legacy of a day like this. And some people get it. Some people don't. Some people think it's just another day. Some people don't. Some people think it's a time for take dad out, get him some new underwear, take him to B-Dubs, get him a beer. That's fine. To me, I think, dude, it's a responsibility kind of a day. And yes, we have fun. And yes, Liz got me breakfast and the kids, got me a card, and I'm really grateful and thankful. But to me, I'm like, hey, am I showing up? Am I going to be the chief of my family? Would Troy Klogg respect me and who I am and what I say and what I do and how I act? Like, to me, that's what it's all about, right? I want to be known as chief in my family. How about you guys? Okay. All right, guys, that's what I got for you on today's podcast episode. It's a big day for all of you guys that are dads and fathers out there, whether you're past, present, future, expecting or not, whatever you guys got going on in your life, just tell you what, man, strap in and hold on, because it is a lot, especially when you get that first announcement from your girl, especially the second one. And the third and fourth, I'm sure, I hope, and I can't wait. I hope it's just as special the first 2 times, but it's a wild time, man. So buckle up. Good luck. All right. That being said, guys, appreciate you. Hope you guys are having a great week. We'll be back on Wednesday. We can't wait to connect with all of you guys on the next one.
Exmark mowers are known for their signature cut quality, legendary dependability, and an operator experience unlike any other. Because if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Don't miss out on limited time savings going on now at your local dealer.
Hey, it's Mr. Producer, and I want to remind you that every month Brian features a renowned entrepreneur or even a company founder on the Launchpreneur Academy Link Live event. Now, these sessions are for the exclusive Launchpreneur Academy Link Facebook group members, and these lessons are designed to empower you with valuable insights and strategies that truly will elevate your business. Now, this Wednesday, the featured guest, Nick Carlson, the brilliant mind behind Mulchmate, a cutting-edge solution that's really revolutionizing the landscaping industry. Nick possesses a wealth of knowledge and experience, and he's going to be sharing his expertise with our community, and we want you to be a part of it. Simply visit launchpreneuracademy.com or use the link in the podcast description. Get signed up so that you won't miss out on this live session with Nick Carlson Wednesday night.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.